Something exciting has arrived in Dublin, combining 80 years of service excellence with 120 years of German engineering. Linder's Opel, the new name for Opel in Finglas and Turvey. Call in and meet our expert sales and service teams. Find your perfect 191 Opel and choose your perfect offer. With 0% PCP and HP finance, a guaranteed minimum of €3,000 scrappage or 3 years free servicing. Visit lindersopel.ie for details or drop into us at Finglas and Turvey. Linder's Opel, now open. Terms and conditions apply.
Blog Talk Radio.
Always look up, never give up, and you will reach your goals. You're important, you're more than enough. And here she is, your host for Rolling with the Diva, Sabrina Williams. Thank you.
Hello from Las Vegas. Sorry we're late today. I just sort of getting a little bit behind today, but I apologize. We're going to have a great show. We have Kimberly Snell. She's going to talk to us about yoga and God. So I really appreciate you guys holding on and listening. How are you guys today? What a wonderful, blessed day it is. Want to remind you of my favorite Bible verse, Jeremiah 29:11. For God knows the plans for you, to prosper you and not harm you, and to give you a hope and future. I hope that you guys know how much you're loved, how much you want it. If nobody has told you today that you're loved and wanted, I am telling you that myself. You're amazing, you're wanted, and you are a valuable part of this society. Sometimes things can get misguided or you don't feel like you're on track, but you are amazing, and just want you to know that. So I hope that you guys, as you listen to the show today, that it helps you learning that why meditation is very important and why you need that. We're going to go to a song. Well, actually, we're going to go to Kimberly because she's on the line. Hi, Miss Kimberly. Sorry about that. I apologize. So
it's okay.
So on the air, we're on the air with Miss Kimberly Snell. Is that how you say it, Kimberly?
Yes. Yep, that is perfect.
Okay. And Kimberly has the book, 1 Minute to AmaZen, AmaZen, A Christian Guide to Yoga. So, Kimberly, tell us where you're calling from and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into the questions after we play a song.
Well, I am in the Metro Atlanta area, originally from New Jersey. And just got tired of the cold, so I moved down south. Although the way the temperature's dropping down here, I'm like, maybe I need to go back up north. But I actually have been a math teacher now for about 22 years.
Wow.
And,
in high school or elementary?
Actually, I teach high school math.
Okay.
And I've taught everything from Algebra 1 to AP Calculus. So everything in between. Yeah. So, and part of me, letting your listeners know that is actually part of my testimony because yoga clearly was never part of, I'm a math teacher. I'm very, concrete, sequential. I like equations. I like things to make sense and to see everything, and yoga is not that.
I can see that. It's totally two different spectrums. Sort of kind of right brain, left brain almost a little bit.
Right.
So let us play a song, and then we're going to come right back to you. We are going to play Jehovah, and we'll be right back.
Jehovah, the God that healeth me. Jehovah, the God that meets my needs. Sovereign God Almighty, you are. Sovereign God Almighty.
And no more coming over here. You know what I mean?
All right. We are back on the air with Miss Kimberly Snell with 1 minute to AmaZen. And we are going to start our interview and conversation. And we are going to start with Kimberly. What is it like to, how do I want to say that? What is it like to write a book about yoga, but you are a math teacher and so you're more scientific? How does that come into play?
It's very surreal. And the way it came about, though, is probably very similar to other people out there. I was going through a point in my life where I was just looking for answers, just searching. And yes. I was going to church, faithfully. I was serving in church. I'm in the choir. But I think if we're real about it, especially as Christians, sometimes we still get to those places that even though we're serving, it's hard to really feel or sense God in your life and in what you're going through. And that's where I was. So I was searching, and I truly believe God, he led me to a coupon through Groupon, and I started going to a yoga class. It was over a summer because, I'm a teacher, so summer breaks are great. And I was going to the yoga class, and my spiritual brother, he knew I was depressed, but he was also very, hey, be careful, isn't that like a cult or, what have you. And so I would go to class, and fortunately I was going to a morning class, and almost every session it would just be me and the teacher, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
And the teacher never did any chants or, the ohms or anything like that. The music that was played in the background was always like nature sounds or instrumental music. And part of yoga is, you're supposed to meditate and you're supposed to, clear your mind so that way you can really, do some introspection and really, become one with yourself and a higher being. And I think like most people, again, my mind is racing. And at the same time, it was, but I'm sad. Help. And so I actually started going to the yoga classes, and I started saying the Lord's Prayer. And I would say it probably like 20 times before the session was done, just so I had something to think about. And I noticed with each week, I was feeling better. With each session, I was feeling better. I was feeling stronger, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, I was feeling better. And so I just kept studying yoga. And as I was doing a home practice, I was in a pose, and I was just like, it'd be really, really nice, since you're supposed to meditate, if I was just meditating on God's word. And then I was like, what if the word I'm meditating on, if the pose interpreted that word? And so now my body is doing what my mind is thinking about. And now I had a way to connect everything, and everything is on one accord, but it's on one accord according to his word now. And that's really how the book began. And I knew it was God at that point because, as you said, and as I told everyone, I'm a math teacher. So I wasn't looking for that to happen. I was looking to feel better. That's all. And I would say within the moment that idea came of what if the pose and the scripture could work hand in hand, so that yoga was really an extension of my faith and my belief, and I could put it all together, like write it all down. God gave me the title of the book, the whole title. And I was just like, oh, my goodness. And
So
that's how it was born.
That's awesome. That is a really great story because it shows you that you can think one way and be of a different mindset, whether it's like I like this part especially because it's from two different fields of thought, and you were able to bring that together and get wholeness for yourself, but also at the same time you were able to develop a Christian's perspective to yoga. And I like researching, and I came up with, and I got this from www.mindbodygreen.com, and they list the different types of yoga, because sometimes people don't understand that. They'll just say yoga is yoga. There's hatha, it's HTHA. How do you say it? Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I practice.
Yeah, it's an umbrella term for all physical postures in yoga. It's physical-based yoga, and it's the most popular in style. Now, why do you practice that one?
I like hatha because for the most part, the poses in hatha are, if you had to classify poses in terms of like beginner, intermediate, and advanced, hatha is more of like beginner and a little bit intermediate. And so to me, hatha is a really great way for people who have never done yoga. It now becomes accessible because you're not so concerned with, I got to do a handstand. Wait, I got to do, like even though you see those pictures and they're so pretty to look at and you're like, wow, whoa. I mean, that's intimidating to think that, wait, you're going to try to do what to my body? And moreover, I like hatha because I'm meditating on God's word. And so I want to be in a posture, in a pose that allows for me to really focus and meditate on God's word and listen for his voice and see what he's trying to tell me at that moment. And that's hard to do when you're focusing on when you're too busy in an inverted pose, or, for lack of a better terminology, you're wrapped up, twisted like a pretzel. You're not really thinking about too much other stuff at that point. I also like hatha because for me, it's between the breathing and just being able to hold the poses for a minute, 2 minutes or so. It allows me and my students to de-stress and relax and release everything that's happened during the day, during the week, during the month, and just come back to that place of calmness and peace. So that's why I really like hatha.
Nice, really. And I do yoga. I love yoga. I've started out with yoga, but I went to Pilates. I like how Pilates is, but Pilates is not yoga, and I know that. But I like that. Now, here's another type of yoga, and I'm just going to give you guys small definitions. Because some people like different. We all have different body types. Right. I know when I work out, I combine weights, yoga, Pilates, and swimming. Some other people, yoga has different forms for different people. And I'm just going to spell it because I'm not good with some of the words of how it says. But it's ILENGAR. And I'm going to say Yanger Yoga, and it was founded by BKS and focuses on alignment. And then there is oh my goodness, this was funny. Kundalini. Yeah, Kundalini yoga. It's equal parts spiritual to physical, and that's sort of it's about releasing go ahead.
No, I was going to say I actually studied that one too.
That's it talks about energy in your body said to be trapped or coiled in the lower spine. These classes work on what Kimberly actually is talking about. Work on your core and breathing, and so that's good. Then there's, and if you know how to pronounce them, go ahead. It's Ashtanga yoga, and it is an 8-limb path, it's in quotes. It involves a physically demanding sequence of postures. So those would be more for the advanced. And then there's Yin Sway yoga, which I actually really love because they focus on one pose, and you do that for a while, and you really concentrate. Bikram yoga, if you want to sweat, you can do that because it's 105 degrees and 40% 40% humidity, which actually I've done that one time, but it's a good way for your body to get like a natural healing because just as much as cold helps your body, when you take your body up to a higher temperature, you can actually reset your muscles. I have learned that from working out and from trainers. And then there's Yin yoga. It's a slow-paced yoga with seated postures that are held for longer periods of time, from 45 seconds to 2 minutes. And then this is one that they had me doing before I went to my surgery, was restorative yoga because it works on proper like alignments, and they use pillows and other blankets to bolster, to push you up. I like that. Then there's prenatal yoga. I don't have to worry about that one. We all get what that's about. Sorry, not talking about that one. And then there's Anusara yoga. Is a modern day version of Hatha yoga, most similarly to Yin Sway, and it focuses on alignment. And then there's Jivamukti, Jivamutta, I think that's how it's said, a series of chants. So there's a lot. Basically, what I'm saying to everybody is there's a lot of different yogas out there. I really do like, and I was really grateful that Kimberly came on to talk about her book, 1 Minute to AmaZen, because it actually, we all need God. And some people may not believe in a Christian God, but you may have a higher power. The one thing about her book and about the way that she's doing yoga, it allows you to really give your mind, body, and spirit over to God or a higher power, and allows you to get in touch with yourself. Kimberly, do you want to comment on that or focus more on that?
I mean, that's absolutely right. One of the things I love is when somebody that's read the book comes to me and they say, I hope you don't mind, but I was reading, this verse and doing this pose, and then I, started going off in this direction. And I'm like, perfect. Like, I want the book to help be that spark or that jump start, so that way we can grow in our walk. We can grow in our relationship with God, because as we grow in that, that's where we begin to find more peace. That's where we begin to also find more strength. And we're able to hear from him in terms of what it is he wants for us, not just in the abstract for our lives, but from day to day, moment to moment. That's where we're able to hear him reassure us that it's going to be all right, and that he's got this, and that we can release that now and not worry and hold on to it anymore. So I want people to use my book as maybe a starting point, because sometimes that's really, we just don't know where to begin.
Right.
We know we're, the first of the year, I mean, how many of us have, said, oh, this year I'm leaving the drama behind, and, oh, it's a new year, new me, but we really don't know how to start that. Or maybe we know how to, have an idea how to start it, but the typical ways that are out there are a little intimidating and daunting. We've said, oh, we're going to read our Bible more, but then you go look up that read a Bible in a year, and, day 1, day 2, you're good, but by, second, third week, you're like, whoa, because life is now hitting you, and, come February, March, you put it down. My book,
exactly. That's true.
And as I was writing the book, what God was telling me is this is a way now that people can begin to incorporate God in a small way, but it'll lead to bigger. Because we all have 1 minute. I don't care how busy you are in life, you have 1 minute. I don't care how tired you are, you have 1 minute. So give yourself, give your body, give God that 1 minute. And if you just give that 1 minute before you realize it, that 1 minute will probably turn into 2 or 3, but start with the 1 minute.
And how would you suggest that somebody who's getting into yoga, or really is, maybe I like for the time of just 1 minute, like say you reading a Bible verse, but how would somebody start with yoga, and what are some things that they should be cautious of?
First of all, don't get caught up in the pictures that you see on Instagram, on internet. Don't get caught up in that. Everybody's journey is different in yoga, just like your faith, your walk is different from everybody else's. You know how they say, you don't know my story. You can't tell it like I can tell it. Well, I can't do yoga like you do yoga. What you have to realize, and part of what you learn in yoga, is that you truly start to become in tune with your body and how it's feeling at that moment. And you keep learning moment by moment how your body is feeling. And therefore you act accordingly. So don't force yourself into in your body. Your legs and your hips are as tight, and wound up as can be. Don't do it. Stop. Don't try to, hold a straight leg plank, but you're sore. Bring your knees down. Mm-hmm. You can still work muscle, and that's what's beautiful about yoga, is that you don't make your body fit the pose. You make the pose fit your body. That's so true. You really do learn where your body is and how it's feeling. And you accept that, and you say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay that right now I'm tired. It's okay that somebody, ticked me off before I came into this session, this practice. And so maybe I can't hold a pose the way I normally could, or I can't balance the way I did yesterday. That's okay. That doesn't make me any less of a person. Just like in our Christian walk, okay, maybe you did cut somebody out 5 minutes ago. That doesn't make you less of a Christian. It made you human. You say, I'm sorry, you ask God for forgiveness, and now you move forward with it. So yoga is the same way. The other thing I would tell people is really focus on your breathing. Deep breathing is so beneficial to our bodies, to our minds, more so than any pose you could ever do. Just breathe deeply. You will relax and release so much through that deep breathing. Your brain activity will increase so much if you just start to breathe deeply. You will start to move from the reactionary mode to now a responsive mode, because that deep breathing allows you to now really think about what's going on and what course of action should you really take, as well as the consequences and repercussions of what you're going to do. So really focus on that breathing. And if you find yourself holding your breath, or the breath is becoming shallow, come out of that pose and go back to your deep breathing. So
very nice. Now, do you have any other books that you're writing or any projects that you're working on related to yoga?
I'm actually in the process now of working with my church to begin having monthly Christian yoga sessions, so that people in the metro Atlanta area can now have a place once a month that they can go, and, prayerfully that will grow, where now we need to hold it once a week or, multiple times a week, and we have to find another facility or a bigger facility to, house people. But so that's one of the things that I'm working on right now.
Wow. Now, tell us, where's your church at, in case people are in the Atlanta area and they'd like to attend church? It's no shame in plugging your church.
Exactly. I attend and serve at the wonderful Word of Faith, Loves Point, Georgia, 2435 Ben Hill Road, where Dr. Reginald Garman is our pastor. He is an amazing pastor. He is truly a pastor that you can approach. He knows you by name. I know even before the book came out, before I ever joined a choir, I would email him sometimes when I had questions, and he responds to the emails. And I was like, oh, my goodness, the pastor just, responded to an email. When I wrote the book, I asked him if he could just look it over. And not only did he read it, he was like, hey, you can do your book signing here at the church. And for people, if they haven't already purchased it, when you buy it, you'll see that the foreword is actually written by him. So he truly is about supporting and loving his congregation and helping them to be all that God wants them to be. He is not about, it's about him. He's about, no, this is about the kingdom. And, we all trying to get to heaven. So how can I help? And he's just amazing. The people there truly are like family. My mom still lives in Connecticut. My dad is in Jersey. And yet when they come down, or even when I just talk to them on the phone, they are so relieved as parents knowing that I'm at that church because they see the love that the members there have for me.
That is awesome.
I mean, I was just telling my mom today how, there's just people at the church, other ladies where we really do call each other sis. Like half the time we don't even say each other's name. We're just say, hey, sis. And we really do mean sis. Like we really think of each other as sisters or as brothers. It's not, I'm just a member. It's no, we're family. And, we're there for each other. We celebrate the highs. We comfort each other with the lows. We have fun with each other. In fact, was it 3 weeks ago, we had a tailgate party after service. We just, it truly is a great church, a church of balance, a church of empowerment, a church of inspiration, and a church of just love. Absolute just love the way God wanted us to.
Amen on that. And I really thank you, Kimberly, for coming on and being on here and being an inspiration and letting people know, because I'll go back to what I tell everybody. Your mind, body, and spirit have to be in sync. One of the important things that I heard Kimberly say in the very beginning is she used yoga when she was going through some depression. There are so many types of exercise. Maybe yoga is not for you, but yoga is a starting place for people to really get in touch with your body and to know yourself and get inside what's inside of you, because sometimes the world has so many different messages, and sometimes just sitting and meditating will help you. I got this from www.christianpracticeyoga.com in the article called What If Your Body Were an Altar? We're going to go out with this today. I'm going to remind everybody that 211 in every state you can call to get help, whether it's for domestic violence, your family needs counseling, you're looking for a food bank, call that 211 in any resource. I just want to also remind people, if you're in a domestic violence relationship, you don't have to stay in that, because at the end of the day, think about this, and I've seen this more and more in the news lately. If you're with somebody who doesn't want to be with you and you end up getting hurt, or they end up trying to kill you, or maybe they do end up killing you, where would your family and kids be? And this is not just for men. This is not just for women. It's for men, too, because men can be abused. So go to your secret place in your mind, talk to God, but I'm going to leave you with this. Take time today to go to your mat and breathe. Find a restorative pose. Do movement. Just breathe, whatever your body needs. Listen to your body. Pay attention to the holies of holies. God made your body a temple. I don't know if everybody knows that Bible verse, but I'm going to, I was trying to find it for you. But do you know that Bible verse, Kimberly?
Start it again.
It's your body is the temple. Oh, here it is. First
Corinthians 6:19.
Exactly. Don't you realize that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? The new Holy of Holies was in your body. And I'm thankful to this article was by Renee Trymus, and this is her article, What If Your Body Were a Temple? I got this from www. Got Christian Practicing Yoga. Go to some of those websites, contact Kimberly. Kimberly, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Sure. You can always find me on social media at Instagram and Twitter is at The Real Kim LLC. Facebook is also The Real Kim LLC, and the website is www.therealkimllc.com. You can get my book. I have another book that's out, not specifically on yoga, but still about just inspiration and helping people as they go through their day to day. I have other products such as shirts and cell phone cases that, again, just kind of remind you that, God is with you and that, you're going to be okay. You're going to do well. But yes, social media at The Real Kim LLC and my website, therealkimllc.com.
All right. Well, you guys heard it on Rolling with the Diva. You guys tune in Sunday. We're going to have a special episode on kids that are bullied can sometimes become abusers. You guys tune in. We thank you for tuning in, Rolling with the Diva. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I look forward to hearing from everybody. Send me an email at cvwt.diva.com, and we will get in touch with you guys. Have a great week. Thank you, Miss Kimberly.
Thank you. Have a blessed one.
You too, honey.